Cozy games are their own little empire these days, and next up is Discounty. Here you're running a supermarket, stacking shelves and keeping the tills singing. It'll draw instant comparisons to Stardew Valley, fair enough because the setup is familiar. The real question is this though, does it stand on its own 2 feet or is it just playing shop? Well, fear not my pedigree chums because I got you covered. So put the kettle on, grab a cuppa and let's go wild in the aisles in today's review. Full disclosure, I was given a review code for Discounty, but that won't affect my verdict one iota. Also, the devs have asked that we don't show anything beyond the first 3 chapters, so most of what you see here is early game footage. So let's crack on then. Straight up, the Stardew Valley comparisons are more than fair, and not just because of the art style. Discounty is basically split in 2, the day-to-day running of your supermarket, which we'll get into, and the towny side of things. The locals have their own traits, backstories and little missions. There's plenty of daft debauchery that's going on too, affairs, petty scandal, teenage wankers going rogue, but it's all played in a light-hearted manner with snappy little scripts that keep things moving and slips in just enough of that banter. Now, I genuinely enjoyed catching up on all the town gossip and figuring out who's who and what makes them tick. Before long you'll know them all, from your little aunt who is a bit of the town bitch truth be told, to the town hall bloke babysitting the photocopier where you could bang out ads to plaster around town. Overall, this game's main story will be done in around 20 hours or so, which is plenty content for a game of this nature. Then there's the actual running of your store. You start from humble beginnings with just a handful of products, stacking apples, bunging frozen chips in the freezer, the usual graft. Space though is at a premium and the aisles are tight. Yes, that's what she said. It only gets trickier too as the catalogue grows. New items can be unlocked via a loyalty point system, which is basically XP. Tick off mini objectives, i.e. sell X items, hit Y targets, then spend those points in a little shop to add new lines or upgrades. The other route ties into the story itself. Here you'll meet traders, and if you meet their criteria, you unlock their goods along with better prices and bigger quantities. It's a tidy boost for your margins too, since their stock tends to fetch more dosh. Throughout you'll need to keep the stock moving, so your delivery driver will drop off the goods and you lug it into the stock room, then out to the shop floor. Placement matters here too. You want to boost the pills so units actually shift. Pick up that little seafood booster for example, basically a fish tank, and any freezers around it will get an appeal bump. Suddenly you're not selling 1 bag of fish fingers, punters are grabbing 3 or 4, and you'll start shaping the layout around that logic. A fresh aisle here, a frozen bay there, and yes, you could dress it up with new flooring, wallpaper and all that bollocks. When you serve folks, you key in the prices on what is essentially a calculator. Simple enough, and after a bit you'll know the numbers off muscle memory alone, which is a signifier that this game is starting to pull you in. Throughout this you're mopping up the shit off the floor so people don't trudge along at a snail's pace, and you're restocking from the back at the moment the shelf runs dry to keep the flow going. It's all pretty good stuff. Well, maybe I'm being a little bit too generous here. It's good for sure, but it's not perfect. Some shop shifts do drag along. Customers trudge about and you're stood there twiddling your thumbs waiting for them to pick their little bits out. Tedious beyond belief. Elsewhere, the pacing fights you. You clock the NPC that you need to progress the story and you want to get to the good shit of the dialogue, but nonetheless, they insist you go through a little bit of preamble before anything useful pops up. Finding people can be a faff too. I spent bloody ages hunting Elmer, the town gimp, only for me to realise the map only shows folks out in the street and not within their stores, and that particular clown was tucked inside the town hall. Then the busy work itself can pile up, breaking down boxes, reposting ads that keep getting torn down, and babysitting those stock levels, a particular pain in the arse when you unlock a lot of different items around you. Yes, the game makes this easier later on, but in that earlier game it turns monotonous and takes some bite out of the loop. I'm listing these because they did my own head in, not because they sink the game however, they just scuff the polish. Stardew Valley felt a little bit more seamless and the progression a little slicker. Discounty though sometimes trips over itself, and that's what keeps it from getting those top marks. But trust me, Discounty is still very much in my good books here, and that absolutely comes through in the attention to detail, mainly in the art and animation. There's only so far you can push retro pixel art, of course, but within this cozy management lane, I don't think there's a better looking game. What really sells it is the care in every little facet. The text bubbles above heads are animated as you press each button. Scene transitions use a tidy little wipe versus just plonking straight up into your face. And the world is full of small touches with life to them. Trees bounce to show their movement in the wind. Your character has a subtle bob as they walk about the place. For a 2D game with a simple style, there's a surprising amount of movement on screen to keep things interesting. And weirdly, what really impressed me was the lighting, an area of graphical prowess I would never associate with a game of this nature. Enter the shop before dawn and it's dim, but as morning rolls in, light slowly spills through the windows. Street lamps shroud the area with that faint haze. The whole town then looks hand painted and meticulously designed, right down to the little flowers that litter the verges. Honestly, this county is a lovely thing to look at, and I genuinely can't find fault with it. And sound is just as good in this county. I won't lie, it's not Stardew Valley levels again, but I wouldn't expect it to be. That thing is an absolute banger. Even so, this county gives it a proper run for its money. The main town theme is the earworm here. You'll catch yourself humming it while you wander about and discover new little corners of the map. I also love how the soundtrack shifts, not just by location, but by time of day. Morning has that gentle get the shop open vibe, while evening leans softer, a bit more reflective after you've dealt with all the town cretins. The sound effects are spot on and never overbearing. Automatic doors give you that satisfying swish. The bell at the entrance tings when someone nips in. Footsteps clack along the pavements at a decent pace, and stacking shelves has this neat little plot that makes the busy work feel more tactile. When characters natter, yeah, it's gibberish, sure, but it sits perfectly in this world. More cozy murmur than grating bubble. So it's all tidy then. Music sits just under the ambience so it doesn't smother anything important, and I never felt that the loop was wearing thin, even after a long gaming session. For you veterans of this channel then, you might be surprised to see the Cockney Gamer reviewing something that looks like perfect fodder for gamer girls and emo goths, but I'm an equal opportunities gamer. Good games stand out no matter the genre. We can chat tits and arse in Cyberpunk or gory deaths in Doom, but a good game is a good game, and well, this county is a fabulous one. Sure, it's not perfect. The pacing wobbles and the tedium can creep in if you let the busy work stack, and well, frankly, if you hate cozy games on principle, then fair play to you. No review is ever going to convert you, but this county genuinely offers something different to what else is out there right now, and I can't help but celebrate it. It oozes style, it feels slick, and most importantly, it's a great chill game to lounge out that will put a smile on your face after a long day. Maybe the highest compliment that I can give it though is this. I kept comparing it to Stardew Valley throughout the entire video today, yet by the end I can't deny that this county stands out on its own 2 feet. If you like this style of gaming, it's a total insta-buy, and for me, it is one of the sleeper hits of the year. Until next time, my lovelies, love to you all. Reggie out.